Hello, beautiful, amazing world, and you, individual. Today, I would like to speak about it never stands still. When you sit still, you want to move. When you sit still and perceive or observe inward, you want to move. It wants to move. It is always moving. It is not that it wants to move, it is moving. And that is why we also want to move, in a sense. So, by having things always in movement, we can start to see things more in reality than what we have been learned and taught as children growing up and such to see. We see things more alive. We see things more unfolding, more growing. There is always a journey and a means to an end. The end is not that important other than to actually have a goal and an aspiration. And when you reach that aspiration, you have a new aspiration. Maybe you even have many aspirations. But it takes the time it takes. You are patient and do it step by step. If you try to hurry and take shortcuts, if you try to make it faster than you can normally do it just because you're impatient, you want it now, it will take much longer because you are fighting the process to giving it to you. By being patient in this moment and kind to yourself, even though we are a little patient, we are not that mature when we think about it. But when we are kind to ourselves, patient, observing, you truly get to grow in a normal way, instead of stopping at a certain age or going too fast or staying behind. It is that perfect sweet middle. It requires everyday awareness, awakeness, to see what happens, to observe and to study and to maybe write down a little based on if you have inspiration. Everything that requires you to use your faculty for observing and perceiving, all your outer senses and all your inner senses. To use your visualization and imagination, you use your ego to think with your whole body, to feel with your body and to think at the same time. It is hard to explain, but you get to understand it when you try it. You are here in this fleeting, constant moment. And you do not drift from that, because in this constant moment is where you learn, is where you absorb new knowledge with everything you do. If you drift away just to distract yourself or feel that you move away from your own body and life for a moment, that's drifting. And you won't achieve very much in that state. But when you're awake, you're always here. And it is always in the change, in the beautiful moment of flow and change. The change is a beautiful, beautiful process of life. It is in ebb and flow, in breath and out breath. It is more or less a reflection of change, but it is seasonal change. We humans are a little different. We also have seasonal changes, but we have freedom to work upon ourselves in these changes. And when we do so, we get to learn about ourselves and how we work, and what moods we have in certain periods of life, and what kind of desires, maybe, or interests we build within ourselves from day to day, from moment to moment. What do we long for? What are our interests in the first place? You need to know these things to get to know yourself. But it also requires bravery and courage to know yourself, because we have many underlying shadows. We have gone through a whole lot in life. Everyone have. But how many acknowledge that and go through it so that we can overcome it? Yes, it is painful. It is tiresome. And it requires patience. But it must be done, or else it will only lay there and fester and grow to become something we do not want it to become. So that's why we take this sincerely and seriously. And building values and compassion for every human being, no matter who, individually. So when you meet an individual human being, you give them that individual respect and reflection they are as a human being. It requires you to know who you are as a human being, of course. And what do you want to give out to the world? Do you want to be an upstanding, dignified human being with integrity and with honor and love in your heart? Or do you want to stay as a schemer, a thief in the night, a shadow? I rather want to be a samurai, a sun being, not a night creature. I don't have anything against night creatures as long as they have a sun in their heart. But if it is only darkness and blackness, you will understand where I come. You will understand the picture. But to acknowledge yourself, to give yourself the love you deserve, that you are seeking from others, that you are looking for outside yourself. You will not find it outside yourself, because it would be either too little, or you will not be. It will be too little. But you always can give yourself what is the normal self-love to give, so that you can give that love out to this world and show how it's done through example, through deed, through action, practice. That is how you master. Mastery requires practice and action, and it requires interest and dedication and a certain love for the dedication, or else it will only be cold and detached, But the love for the dedication, the love for the work, helps a whole lot in this process. To give gratitude for something every day, to feel grateful for the life you have been given. We have come from an earlier life and we are going to a next life. Being aware of that also makes it easier, because then you can understand where karma comes from, and you can get to know it by knowing yourself and how it works. The actions you are doing now brings seeds in the future, right here and now. So what you are doing is always bringing results. So that is why we are aware of ourselves, to know that we are trying to do good and trying to be kind and understanding and hopeful, and faithful, loving and hopeful. because then a good future will sprout from the seeds we are sowing. Thanks, everyone. May the divine guide us all on this beautiful path and growth for all of mankind. May Christ guide us all. Love you. Thank you for listening to me. Goodbye.